Today I send my sincere condolences to JoDan Gorman, one of America's finest patriotic encouragers. JoDan's Aunt Jean left this world today and is now with her Savior Jesus. JoDan launched his intellectual frog legs about the same time I started doing my Wild Bill for America videos back in 2011. Intellectual Frog Legs went on to become one of the most enjoyable and important pro-America, pro-God sites, and it would not have happened without Aunt Jean. America owes Aunt Jean a debt of gratitude for her generosity and love that allowed JoDan to find his place and his message to a nation in desperate need of hope and encouragement. Years ago, the real estate crash hit America hard and wrecked the business that JoDan had worked hard to build. He was really knocked flat. The disaster would have had him homeless if not for Aunt Jean, who took him in and became pretty much a mom to him. She gave him encouragement and love when everything looked so bad. JoDan lived in her basement where the idea for Intellectual Frog Legs took shape. And the rest is history, as they say. I don't know anyone who has been more caring and loving towards one another than JoDan and his Aunt Jean. So this is going to be a very bittersweet Thanksgiving for JoDan Gorman. God blessed him with a second mom in Aunt Jean. And I know from experience that a loss like this changes your world permanently. So to JoDan Gorman I say, grieve for and remember one of the finest ladies in America. I wish I lived close enough to be there, to sit with you, cry and pray with you, and to relive the stories of Aunt Jean. She was foundational in launching Intellectual Frog Legs, and from now on, every time I watch a new Intellectual Frog Legs, I will be remembering Aunt Jean. I know you will honor her properly and will carry on the mission God has given you. I leave you with John 11:35. Jesus wept, but there was joy in the morning.